It's June 30th at 7:32. Roll call, Pam?
Robert Romer,
Here.
James Barr,
Here.
Austin Groner,
Here.
Eric Nyland,
Here.
Michael Lau,
Here.
and Michael Gore is absent.
Okay, the first agenda item is an A&R. We have anybody representing the applicant? I don't
No,
believe.
he told me he wasn't available to come this evening, and it's a simple A&R. It's
Okay,
transfer of
so-
a parcel, so I'm
So-
happy to present it to the board.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this property has an existing single-family home, and parcel A is being carved from lot 2 and being combined with lot 3. So they're transferring this 4.79 acres to lot 3. They're not creating an additional building lot, they're just transferring additional area. So the new acreage of lot 2A will be 8.05 acres. So there's still plenty of frontage and area, and they're just adding additional area. Lot 3 is 4.9 acres, and they're adding an additional 4.79 acres to it. And that is explained in the notes in the lower left-hand corner.
Okay. Sounds very straightforward. Any comments from the board?
Do we know why this is happening? I mean, not that it matters, but just out of curiosity, this is just to give more land to lot 3, essentially.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know for what purpose. We didn't specify that, but they're just combining additional area to lot 3.
And where do the hatches fit into this?
I'm sorry,
Is that the
This-
wetlands?
oh, this area here? That's the approximate area of the wetlands. So this parcel, this upland area, parcel A, isn't really very accessible for lot 2, and it is accessible for lot 3. So that may be part of the reason. I'm just speculating.
Right. And there's an existing drive
Yes.
across the wetlands.
Yes.
Okay. I would assume that's all been permanent.
Oh, yes. These were constructed a while ago.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the A&R?
I will make a motion to approve the A&R for
And roll call?
Oh, we need a second.
Second.
Robert Romer,
Aye.
James Barr,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
I.
Eric Nyland,
Aye.
and Michael Lau.
Aye.
The A&R is voted to be approved. Bob, I just need someone to stop in and endorse the plan when you have an opportunity.
Yeah, I'll come in and do it.
Okay, great.
You'll be around tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The second item is the driveway security release.
Yes.
There used to be a pile of these backed up. Are we pretty much up to speed on this now?
We have a couple pending ones. There's been some issues with them lately. Let me just pull up
Okay.
the plan.
Is there anything we need to look at? It's
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
Okay.
Trying to grab the plan there. Okay, so Randy Hegland from DPW provided some photos and comments that this was the original approved driveway plan. And as you can see, if I zoom in towards the entrance where the curb cut was constructed, there was proposed riprap in depressed areas to catch some of the runoff. And then when you compare them to the actual photos this wasn't done, so there is some erosion occurring at the terminus of the driveway into the public way, along with some runoff, and there's some concern that it could result in icing during winter conditions. I'll just pull up the photos for you. Hold on. So this is where the rip-wrapped area is supposed to be, and you can see a minimal amount of erosion, but there's been some silt from the driveway entering the public way. And running along the edge here. So there was some concern that this could result in some ponding in the winter and freezing.
But part of
So-
the original plan is to have retention areas there?
Small rip-wrapped depressions. I wouldn't, yeah. I can pull that up again if you'd like to see it.
Pam, how did something like this come to the board's attention?
So the driveway permits are required in our zoning bylaw. It's a little unusual and it's given jurisdiction to the planning board. And because they're cuts into a public way, there's a security that's required when they pull the permit. And that just ensures that there's no damage to the public way during construction. And that things like this don't occur, so there's no runoff resulting from the driveway that causes icing conditions or a safety concern. So when their driveway is complete, we hold the security, and when it's complete, they request release, and that's when we take a look at the final product to make sure it was constructed in accordance with plans.
Got it. So this analysis is triggered by the fact that they're attempting to have the security released.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And the security's $1,000, so it's
So at this point, the only outstanding issue is they need to put riprap at those 2 points, right?
yes. I was just gonna recommend that the board vote to continue this and send a letter to the applicant to request that the depressed riprap areas be installed to prevent runoff from occurring.
It sounds like a very sound recommendation, so
I'll second that.
thank you. Seconded,
Robert Romer,
aye.
James Barr,
Aye.
Austin Gruner,
I
Eric Nyland,
Aye.
and Michael Lau.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on quickly to the appointment of an MAPC Magic representative. Do we have one now?
Yes, me, but I didn't realize we have to do it every annually, so,
So, are you looking forward to a reappointment here?
yes, please.
Thank you. So do I hear a motion to reappoint Pamela Harding to be our MAPC Magic representative?
I will make a motion to recommend Pam Harding as our MAPC/Magic representative.
Okay, and the second?
Second.
Robert Romer,
Aye.
James Barr,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
I
Eric Nyland,
Aye.
and Michael Lau.
Aye.
Hey Pam, just for the edification of everybody, I know everybody understands MAPC, but you can give a little background on Magic because, they've been very useful, but I'm not sure they're very well known.
Sure, yeah, the MAPC region is pretty big. I think there's 112 communities that they have jurisdiction over, so they have created sub-regions, and they created the Magic region, which is a group around more towards the western Massachusetts, which surrounds 495. And so those sub-regions get together on a monthly basis with the exclusion of the summer and just talk about regional issues and planning events. And that's where we discussed Magic and MAPC working on issues with economic development related to the lack of public infrastructure. So Bolton will be partaking in that type of planning activity. So they've been very helpful. In addition to that, they provide technical assistance to communities within their region for things like bylaw changes or housing production plan studies, that type of thing.
As we go ahead with our focused economic studies in Bolton, economic development studies, do you intend to get them involved or solicit input from them, or?
Yeah, I think it would be helpful. They haven't moved the rural community public infrastructure study along yet. So I don't want to really wait for that, but yeah, we request we will be requesting information as we move forward, especially particularly with mapping. We're given a few technical assistance hours just by our membership, so I'll bring that to you. I usually get a planning board vote before I would submit any sort of requests.
Right. But there is an opportunity to get technical assistance from MEPC as
Yes.
well, or not, yeah, as we've done that in the past.
Mhm.
Okay, great, thank you. Now, our additional study area, agenda item 4. Can you explain a little bit further about where we are with that? I know we've talked about Forbush. I know we've talked
Yeah.
about east end of town. We've talked about multi-use towards town center, but haven't just defined that, I think, beyond the initial Route 117 Main Street study.
I haven't spoken with Marie on the finalized areas yet, but I've started, and they didn't go into Google great, but I started doing a parcel analysis of the Forbush Mill area that we identified. I just wanted to show you the sheets and see what your thoughts were on how they were going forward. Sorry, the Google Docs kind of didn't transfer well from Microsoft Word, so I'm just pulling up the Word one. And then I also updated our use table to kind of break it down and add some more up-to-date uses and things that we've just come across that have been problematic and kind of categorizing as people give us calls and ask what's allowed in what zoning districts. Oftentimes actually it's not an easy fit into any sort of category. So because some of the descriptions were broad, so we broke that down a little bit more, and I revised it and put the revised document into the Google Drive, and it identifies all the changes that were incorporated through the track changes.
Has anybody tried to open a discotheque?
Not yet. Well, I didn't. No, that's
Because it's banned in Bolton, discotheques.
Oh, that's too bad. Gee.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That doesn't seem...
I feel like this is the movie Footloose.
Yeah, it must have been a response to Footloose in the 80s.
Do you want to bring that up?
Yeah. So this is one I just did for 1076 Main Street. I highlighted it in the focused area map, then the zoning map, and an aerial photograph map, broke down the parcel information, what was the existing land use.
Can you go
zoning
into
district.
slideshow mode, or
Is it
Yeah,
too
bigger.
yeah?
bigger? Okay, sorry.
If you go to
see what, yeah.
go to display settings, like, because you have all that stuff open on the side. But if you do if you go to the bottom and do like slideshow mode, that might be good. The bottom display settings, yeah.
Just the full screen, yeah.
Oh. I don't know. You just increase zoom in, I guess.
I don't know what happened. I don't know why there's two.
Go to Zoom and just increase it, and one of them will disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't,
You were on it, there you go.
yeah, it won't click. That's why I'm having trouble.
Really?
Try on the
Yeah.
bottom right. If you go down to the bottom right, there's a slider bar.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
there, okay.
Yeah,
There we go.
excellent.
Yeah.
Sorry
That's
about
better.
that.
That's fine.
Okay. And these are in the Google Drive, but they got a little discombobulated, so.
So we're looking at, okay, so this is the south side of Main Street. Okay. So that's the DPW parcel. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, so this is Classic Pizza.
Yep.
I'm glad we're including Classic Pizza as part of the overall picture here, but how would we go about approaching them? What would be the strategy here?
When we get a little further along, I think the expectation was to have a public meeting, invite all the landowners that are within the focused area assessment and get their input on any sort of feedback they have with operating their current business, and if they've come into obstacles expanding, what they would be, if there's some zoning issues that we can help. I know some businesses have complained about our signage requirements, so we can discuss that type of thing. Anything to kind of help them, or get input from them on what would assist in sort of economic development expansion, commercial expansion, that type of thing. If they've had any impediments from the town or uses that they've wanted to do that weren't allowed, that maybe should be considered, or maybe they shouldn't be, but just input from the landowners, I think would be important.
It would
Yeah.
be interesting also to suggest collaborative approaches, particularly for access and egress, rather than have a whole bunch of little individual lots.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a good first step. Just kind of hearing them out.
So this breaks down that big Excel table into kind of more identifiable parcels, so we know what we're looking at and what's in the area. Took inventory of the square footage of the buildings and what the uses are and if they were conforming or non-conforming. So that's what I was expecting it to look like for 1076 Main Street, and then we
So
did one.
that residential house, that's in the business zone, but it's pre-existing non-conforming residential.
Yes.
Okay, so that is it
We
on
don't
its
know.
is it on its own lot or is it
No, it's on the common lot with Classic Pizza.
okay? Okay.
So-
But you could have multiple business pads on a business zone as long as there's enough square footage for the coverage. Yes.
Yeah, and the mixed use would be a special permit option as well.
Yep. Okay.
So one like long-term option for this landowner would be to sell the property and have it just developed into sort of a new business footprint, right?
Well, it's small. It doesn't meet our zoning requirements, so it's undersized. We require 1.5 acres, and it's only 1.38. It's identified here in the table.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's a pre-existing non-conforming lot as it is, so anything they kind of want to do would have to get zoning board approval at this point.
But if they
Under our
combine the
current
two
bylaw.
lots,
I'm sorry, what's that?
if they combine the two lots,
They
They
don't
can-
have two lots. They only have the one lot with two buildings on it, so this is
I
the
see,
first.
okay, right.
Yeah.
Could you zoom into that? Sorry, I'm asking you to zoom again, but I
Which,
just want to see the numbers. The classic and that house lot, that middle graphic you
one?
have. Yeah, zoom into that if you can. Just slide more.
I think
Yeah.
the total acreage there is 1.38, right?
yes,
All right, so what am I looking at? So that's
it's the yellow
Classic.
highlighted area. This is the Classic Pizza building, and this is the 3-family.
and that's 1.38 total.
1.38. Yeah, this arrow is pointing to this parcel. It was, I think it was too small for the GIS to incorporate the label, so they.
And what's
And
what's that building outside the yellow?
That's it's a real estate building, I think.
Yes,
Yep.
And what lot's that?
6.4B, 6.B4.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got it. And that's only 0.2 acres. Okay,
Right.
Well,
that's fine.
And then the one above that's the post office.
What's that?
The one above that is the post office, right?
This one, yes.
Yeah, okay.
6B6. Yep. And so I combined a few, like it made sense to combine the four. Let me zoom out a little. To combine the 4 town-owned lots. Took inventory of all the acreage, the frontage, what's on the properties, and noted any environmental constraints. There's a perennial stream that runs, Still River runs through a portion of this property. So just plan to continue doing that for the remainder of the parcels in the identified area.
And that also shows the topo, right?
I didn't do it on this page, but we have the topo maps for the whole area. And
Right.
if you want me to incorporate it into the specific parcel analysis, I can do that. That's not a problem.
Okay, I mean, in this particular case, it's fairly challenging. Now, the idea, I mean, it might be worthwhile looking from a business perspective of a land swap or rezoning from residential into commercial for this whole area. And that brings up the question of what about the former landfill and what are the implications of that? But it is an awful lot of land.
And this parcel has the cell tower.
Right.
There is a gas line easement which runs through. It's noted here in the red.
I'm sorry, a gas line. Okay.
what kind of restrictions does that impose on construction on those parcels, the gas line? I mean, you just have to be careful about where you dig, or you couldn't build anything within some distance from it?
I'm not exactly sure. I know when they crossed the gas line easement at the high school, they had to contact the company and get permission, and then the gas company had to send people out to supervise construction, and they had to stay a certain distance away from it, and create a specified crossing area for the big, heavier construction vehicles.
But there's no real problem with putting infrastructure in a road or whatever on top of it if you work with the gas company?
I don't know about that.
I would hope so. I mean, there's plenty
Yeah.
there's plenty of buried gas lines underneath urban and suburban areas. It's just
Yeah.
you just have to be careful about construction over top of it, right?
Yeah, I'm not really certain how big this gas line is. I have to look into it a little more.
There are usually the type of gas that, from my experiences, the gas line will have a class, like for certain protections, automatic shutoff valves, certain pressures, and you'll be able to build certain types of buildings depending on the class of the pipeline. And you can upgrade the safety facilities to meet the new building demand, but there could be some ramifications of it.
So Pam, it would be useful to get that information since that clearly is another limitation.
Mhm. And it actually looks like it goes currently behind the Dagnall Liquor. I think if I'm reading that correctly, or it goes on that, it goes through that business zone. It looks like kind of close
Yeah.
to that area.
Yes, that's the next parcel over.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. That's the red dotted line,
Oh, wow.
Yes.
The real estate building goes right over top of it.
yeah. High school too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one they had to
Stand-
mark it in the field and then create a crossing for the heavier construction vehicles. That was approved by the gas company.
So that line, it's not a constructed gas line, is it? It's just an easement for a future.
I
I
think it is a constructed gas line.
Oh, okay.
I know the one that
I
that
know
goes east
those are
to west. That one is that I know for
right,
sure that one is constructed.
Yeah,
right.
this was,
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
not sure.
recall this coming up during the this line
I don't
being
think that one is.
an
I think it's
issue
just
during the high
future.
school.
I think
So
that's for future
I'll have to
development.
look into it and see what the status is.
Yeah, but if they have an easement, we've got to take that into
Yep.
consideration.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. They're not going to give it up.
Okay, so I can just keep going forward with this. I can add the contours and then I'll expand upon the notes and find out what the gas line status is.
No, I think this is exactly what we're looking for.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before.
Anybody else have any thoughts of additional or alternative approaches to doing this?
No, this looks good to me.
Yeah. No, this is way beyond what we had put together for the 495, 117 Southwest quadrangle. This is what ultimately we hope to get. Thank you, Pam. So you're going to move forward on looking at the other, putting this kind of information together for the other lots in that area, and then we can start taking a look at it. And once we get all of the information together and reasonably well documented, agreed on, then invite the owners in to talk about some of their thoughts about the implications, what issues they have, what they might like to do, etc.
Yes.
I think it would be good, like, and I don't even know legally how this stands, like, and if we could just do it in bylaws, but if there was a way to gang up all these lots, where they could share wells or septic and, make it easier and more financial to build out, their properties. I don't know, like I said, the legality of all that, but like if there was a way to do that, somehow group it together in a
Well, I
zone
wouldn't be,
where we could share parking, share wells, share septic, that sort of stuff, to allow for more development would be probably.
that was clearly my objective in the beginning.
Yeah.
Get people together and figure out how we can, as a joint group of people, develop that approach, a collaborative approach, as you say, for infrastructure in every way,
Mhm.
water, sewer, access, parking,
Mhm.
etc.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's too financially burdensome to develop individually, but maybe all together,
Yeah, and does pre-existing non-conforming nature of some of the lots, some of the most important lots actually, does that present a blocker for doing things like that?
I think it would only help because right now they can't really do anything with it. It's like anytime it changes hands, it has this pre-existing non-conforming tag on it, and nobody really wants to deal with that because if they change anything, then they have to go before the ZBA, and it's not
Yeah.
under their own control. So if we were able to open it up somehow, that would only add to the value of the properties.
Yeah, and this will help us evaluate whether 1.5 acres is still warranted if we want to keep that size as a minimum requirement. If all the property is non-conforming, maybe it makes sense to look at smaller lot size requirements.
Well, right, and also those lot size requirements don't even make sense for business zone because we added the fact that you can add multiple buildings per lot. So really, the lot size just doesn't even make sense. Like for businesses, maybe you just stick with like we have a coverage, which is like I think 20% for business zone. So maybe that's all you need, so on 1 acre is 40,000 feet, you can fit an 8,000 square foot building. You don't necessarily need the minimum lot size. We just have the coverage, which limits it. So that's just kind of like a hindrance to development, I think.
Yeah, a lot of communities do that. It's more of a form-based code requirement, so the lot size is determined by the building size. So you have like a
Yeah, the coverage, like we have this sense,
area ratio.
yeah, we have the sense of coverage. So, but like we also have minimum lot size, which doesn't necessarily make sense, especially if we're looking into like condensed development. Same thing with like a cottage overlay, like lot size doesn't make sense anymore.
And if some of these businesses, or maybe most of them, it could be restaurants or cafes or whatever, would there be there would be like public water requirements for a lot of these businesses,
Right.
Yeah,
Well, so that's the thing. So like that real estate office has 0.2 acres. They can never have a public water supply. There's just no room for it. So that's why you'd have to, combine up and share well and septic and all that.
Mhm.
yeah, and I think if you go back to the rationale of our original zoning and the, what is it, 802 study that was done in the 70s, the acre and a half lot size was completely based on sewage and water for individual single-family homes. And now we're talking about something completely different to which this doesn't apply. Group
Right.
sewage, group water, etc., which is a very different approach. It's got to be thoughtfully put through. But as long as it meets the environmental guidelines, um, scientific environmental guidelines, then I think we're, in a good place to start talking about smaller lot size, but additional requirements to make sure that it's safe in terms of water, sewer, and I would encourage infrastructure, combined infrastructure, transportation.
Does
Park.
the
Yeah.
school does the school across the street, I guess, what does their sewage and water facilities look like? Is that considered public water?
Yes,
Okay.
and I believe they have, aren't they putting together a new sewage treatment plant? Pam, are you aware of that?
Yeah, and they have a new well too, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're, a standalone operation which services a very substantial number of people.
Mhm.
So the Tadmore business property, which wraps around the DPW, I mean, they have in their plans a public water supply. I don't know the gallons per minute or hour or whatever that is. It might need to increase in size if it's covering more, but like, there's areas that we could, all kind of combine them together to help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Good.
yeah, I think that's a good point. The other thing that we've got to take into consideration is we can't look at these individually without looking at other development around them. So if we're talking about public water, we've got to make sure that whatever wells they put in, if they intersect with other radii, that's taken into consideration.
Yeah, I have a map with all the public existing water supplies in the
Right.
folder. Yeah.
Yep. And that's, I mean, that's not only public record, but laid out very nicely by the DEP. So we know all of that. Anyway, I think this is a very good approach. And if we get our act together on getting the information as you've done, then I think it's time to review it with the owners and ask for their suggestions. Because as Eric said, 2 or 3 of these lots put together present a much, much more viable economic development area than the individual lots as they now stand.
Should we come prepared with some rough ideas?
I think it would be good, yeah. And I think those will, as we look at more data and be able to step back and look at the various lots and how they might fit together and take in consideration infrastructure in the broad sense, we may be able to suggest and facilitate some of that conversation instead of laying regulations on the table and letting people go at it.
Yeah, we just need to open it up,
Yep.
smartly, as you said, of course, but you know, it's just very antiquated how it's all laid out and structured, and it
Yeah.
doesn't really allow for anything.
It's
And I
nice.
think that's the approach we've got to take here.
Yeah.
This is a lot of history. It's been piecemeal. We're not going to apologize for it, but we're looking forward to a better way of doing business.
I mean, like even like the business zones, if you look at it on the GIS, it doesn't even like we've tried to address it 5 years ago. It doesn't even line up with lots. It just doesn't even make sense. I mean,
Right.
it's just like, yeah, nothing makes sense in any of it. It was, like you said, very piecemeal. So,
Okay. Sounds good.
I mean, I don't know if this has to be a public meeting or if it's not a public meeting, but like if we could set up one meeting with that group of owners, I would love to set up a meeting with Kathy Adams and I think David Kane, I think is his name, like that area, and then the industrial zone area, and
Uh-huh.
get all those owners. I would love to have all these meetings, and because I mean we need the owners buy-in as well and their feedback, and they probably have things we haven't even thought of course. So
Not going to go anywhere without them.
right, exactly.
Should we include the DPW as well, since part of our plan is also
Yeah.
potentially relocating them?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's a transfer station committee too that's analyzing the transfer station, so we would want to notify them that we're incorporating this into the study area.
Pam, what is the remit of that committee? What's their objective and scope?
I think they're looking at existing services, alternatives, scopes.
Are they stepping back and looking at alternative uses?
I think one of their scopes is to determine if the transfer station is going to remain. And if that current location is the best spot for it, yes.
But they're not looking at the other town land in the vicinity.
Not that I'm aware of.
Because I think that's critically important. I think it's important to look at the transfer station and what might happen to it in the future and what other services might be provided or alternative services. But at the same time, there's a bunch of town-owned land there that might be used in a very different way.
I'll get the scope a little more. I'll get more detail on the scope from the town administrator.
Okay, that'd be very useful.
Yeah, I mean, in all this discussion, the DPW is just that big loud can that everybody just kicks down the road that nobody wants to address. But
Yeah.
like that's like pivotal as you come into town from the west, to get rid of that and make it a enticing development to come into.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are two components to that. One of them is we need to, and it would be useful to have economic development there. And on the other hand, it's a lousy place, as Randy has said, we're not very good neighbors.
Yep.
Find another place for the DPW and take into consideration what the DPW needs to look like going forward.
Yeah.
Not just relocating, but relocating, growing, looking at it in a different way, more modern buildings, better facilities, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
But if we're going to move the DPW, we got to know more about where to, in addition to where from.
And as part of that puzzle, is potentially selling off that lot of land from the town to whoever, and then using that to help fund at least the construction of the new DPW.
So
Yes.
actually, like 10 years ago, I think the EDC talked to some realtor who came in and was talking about exactly that, kind of like a trade. Like they would like give some equal value of the land to put towards, a new DPW somewhere else. Of course, it would be tons more money on top of that, but basically what you just said, a developer would buy the land, or somehow, put money towards a DPW or something, some kind of trade.
Well, and as Pam and I have discussed, that gets a little tricky under
Yeah.
Chapter 30. The town has to auction. So,
Has
and
to what,
unfortunately-
auction it?
yeah. And
Yeah, but I remember this guy, I mean, and I don't know, it could have been full of whatever, but like he was talking about like some law or something that allowed for trade or something. I like it's so long ago, I don't remember, but like I don't, I don't know.
I think that if we can find out about that, that
Yeah.
certainly would be very useful to know.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
the town was faced with this with the Conservation Commission when they talked in the early 1970s about buying land and breaking it up and, keeping some and selling and, paying for the initial purchase by selling off components. And the town couldn't do it. And that's the reason the Conservation Trust was developed. So it would do that, and then it would sell the land directly to the town.
Isn't there also the matter of the soil too? Like, does it need to be retested or something because of what was previously?
Yes. Yeah, the answer very simply is yes.
Yeah.
You have to do a phase 1 as a minimum.
This could be. I kind of see this as like maybe one of our big problems we have to solve, right? Like if we can find a way for us to relocate the DPW and reuse this land for commercial in some way, I feel like a lot of the rest of the plan kind of falls into place, assuming obviously the landowners are on board, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you could if you can combine the DPW land with the land beside it that was proposed some time ago for multi-use, that would make it much, much more valuable, and make it much more sensible from an egress, an access, parking, etc.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, and in the real estate world, if it weren't town land, the fact that it makes the existing land so much more valuable would substantially raise the price to just the owner of the other land. But as you say, that's kind of tricky in terms of municipal land transactions. I don't know how to do that. And Eric, if you have any input about how that may have been done elsewhere, it'd be really nice to know.
I mean, I have no input. I just remember the conversation. But like we probably need to talk to people more in their wheelhouse. Yeah, where this is more in their wheelhouse who understand that. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah, it's out of my knowledge base.
But again, it would be very nice to know how that could be done,
Mhm.
and done in a way that
And,
is-
and like Austin said, probably one of the first steps, understanding what we could do there.
Yep. And one of the others, particularly with that land, is making sure that we understand the environmental contamination and remediation issues that may be still outstanding and what the implications are of selling that land.
Do you know if there's ever been any documented like cleanups or anything?
Oh,
that's-
yeah, sure. Yes.
They do testing all the time.
Yeah, it's still being tested.
But like there were past like dumpings or whatever that needed to be cleaned.
Yeah, there was
There was
a,
a petroleum spill
yeah, and
Okay.
that I've read, but I haven't sat down and talked with DPW about it in detail yet. I
yeah,
just
there
looked
was,
at the 21E reports online.
there was a disconnect between the piping and the tank, and a lot leaked out. In any case, there's lots of history on that. Town spent a lot of money on it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's, that's another limitation, something of an unknown, something that needs to be looked into, particularly for that lot. But it did impact lots around it as well.
You're just another reason that, if you had infrastructure that didn't have to be on the lot, then it's not as big of an issue.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like we should break this problem down and try to figure out the different steps.
Yes.
Yeah, I say this all the time, but like, um, from what I've seen, I moved here in 2010, and it just seems like a lot of these big issues, it's just when they get brought up, it's like, oh my God, that's people are like, I can't think about this now. We're just volunteers, and it just gets passed off and like, not mentioned for another 5 years. So somebody has to start the ball rolling.
Well, and that's what I had to do with a town
Yeah.
common. I mean,
Yeah.
that was highly contaminated. And by
Yeah.
the way, that's still being, across the street is still being tested.
Yep.
But it was the biggest problem. And incidentally, it's a problem with financing as well. Um, You're not buying an asset, you're buying a liability. And we need to make sure that we understand the implications of it.
Did the land behind the common, like up the hill, was that tested for public water suitability?
Um, it was tested, I'm not sure for public water.
Mm-hmm.
It was tested for water. It was also tested at one point for a common leach field, septic leach field. There
Mm-hmm.
were some thoughts in the beginning of combining the lots on either side with the lot in the middle and running pump piping up to a leach field halfway up the hill, and that was all perked. But that didn't happen. The parties wouldn't agree.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave up on it.
That's behind the common. I forget how much is town owned. That's 42. That's all.
Yeah, it looks like it.
20, that's town owned.
Yeah. It's got to be some clean water in that area.
Oh, there's a lot of water up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
20 and 42.
That's ours. Yeah.
Yeah, these two.
And who's 44?
It's a church.
That's the church.
Oh, this church. Okay. The church
Yeah,
is also 7.
And
And 28 is the town.
yeah,
Oh wow. And what road is that?
Old Townhouse Road.
that's not a road anymore.
Oh wow. Oh, is that? Oh, that
It's
goes
not there.
by the town hall. Okay.
Yeah,
This is
there's a
town hall
trail
right
here
here.
now.
Wow. Okay.
There's
Interesting.
a trail and a little shed back here. You can go hiking.
Where's the powder house? And
It's right about,
It's on that bump right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's right around here.
yeah.
What kind of house did you say?
It's the original powder house for the town where they kept the gunpowder.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
you
it's
can go-
that, see that
it's
cliff
it's it's
at the
cool. You
top
can
of-
the trail goes right up there if you haven't been.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's a little brick building.
Wow.
All of this is town land. 1122.
Town gunpowder.
And what's the land like
No,
back?
that's not 22. I'm sorry, what?
I was just asking, what is the land? What does it look like back there?
I mean, it's all trails. You can go through it.
Wooded trails, yeah. There's public access. You can park in the back of town hall, and there's a trailhead marker right on the parking lot.
It's actually quite nice.
Yeah, and it goes up to the intersection of Sugar and Golden Run. Right at that intersection, it comes out.
Oh yes, I know that trail. Okay.
Okay.
I think my property is number 6 on that one.
Oh yeah.
6 or
This?
7.
That's you.
There it is.
Now we all know where you live, Jim.
Jim, I think my daughter went to your daughter's birthday party.
So your property has Old Town Road access.
Correct.
That's a formally discontinued road up Am, isn't it?
I don't know if it's officially been discontinued. I'd have to look into that.
It's a little grown in.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Actually, we went up
Yeah,
there
it's-
last
see,
year. It was wide open.
Oh,
So
really?
you can hike. Yeah, it's
Yeah, you can walk
it's
all the way
actually well
through.
maintained.
Are the cart tracks still there?
The what?
The cart tracks?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, there was always fear with that all the land back there that somebody would gain access through Harvard Road or something and try to develop. I don't know what's not town owned, but
Oh, it's a land, most of it's a land conservation. Okay.
Yeah, it's easier to see on this.
Yeah.
so if you go to the left though, Pam, more to the west.
That's it.
Oh, that's cool.
Can you pull it to the right, to the west of, yeah.
And then
Yes.
north of that is the Callahan line.
So that lot, adjacent to 113. I think it's 113. I can't see the number, 125.
Not
Go up,
seeing
up,
the-
up, up further, up further.
it-
That
this-
big lot. The giant
This?
lot. Yeah, that one.
That's the Callahan line.
So that's BCT or that's some private owner?
Private owner.
I think that was the one that people were scared would get developed, right?
Yeah. And there have been discussions with Pete Callahan's dad, who owns that.
How many acres?
It's a huge piece of land.
76 acres.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so I remember people being scared that, you'd punch a road through one of the lots on Harvard Road and turn it into a subdivision or something.
It's pretty hard property to develop, though.
Oh, okay.
I've walked it with with an interest in acquiring it.
Was it just hilly or just, are there any trails in there at all?
Not formal trails. You can walk through it. Stone walls all the way around it.
What's, yeah, oh, Powder House Hill. Okay, I see it. Yeah.
It looks like there's an
Yeah. Maybe that's
Yeah.
a trail.
Something. Interesting. History lesson in Bolton.
it looks like there's a trail. Unless it's a power line or something.
That's probably an old cart road. That's pretty big for a train.
Okay, well, we're digressing, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it's
All right.
interesting.
To digress even further, I saw the little story in your house, Bob. That's pretty cool. I think 2-story or whatever posted it.
Okay, so moving forward, Pam, you're gonna add additional lots. Look into what that pipeline situation is, whether it's an easement, what would be required. And then put that in place. Then we can have a board conversation. And once we have our act together and decide how we want to move forward with the landowners and some of the approaches that we might want to see, then have a public meeting with the owners.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep. And if you want to just take a look at the land use table,
Right.
it's in the Google Drive. If you need me to send the link out again to the project folder, I can do that in the morning.
Okay.
Can I ask just one more question? So that
Sure.
parcel 125, which is the solar field, is that part of our study
It is, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I
Um,
think that's
the
another.
solar fields have an approximate 25-year lifespan, and we're at over 10 at this point. So we decided to include it just to look at possible uses, what would occur when they become discontinued or no longer economically viable.
Mhm. Yeah, but it's not a near term thing that would I guess unless it gets decommissioned early for some reason. But
No, but I mean,
Yeah, it's
15
13
years
years
is
old.
more
yeah.
from a planning
It's better
perspective.
to plan for it now and while we're doing
Yeah.
all the work and
Hmm.
If we had listened to our planners a long time ago, some of our huge problems with 117 wouldn't exist. I don't know, have you all seen, I think it's the 1971 comprehensive plan for Bolton?
I have not.
Oh,
Okay, I will, Pam, do you have a PDF of it?
I don't, but I have the hard copy. I can scan it
Okay,
in.
I have a PDF.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, let me send it to you. It's very enlightening. They anticipated at that time that there were going to be huge traffic problems with 117, and they proposed a bypass around Bolton, which at the time they could have done. Not anymore. But there were a number of other recommendations and problems that were identified then that have not gone away.
Kind of like a more, no, I don't want to say a highway, but um, they had a path for like a faster moving road, basically,
Yeah.
to not clog up the more residential area. I mean, that's definitely when you go to other small towns with a good like town center, um, the fact that our main throughway through the town is also like the town
Street.
center.
Yeah.
And like even Lancaster has like an industrial area that's not anywhere near that town's that
Right.
it's just yeah, it's just we're set up poorly for development.
Yeah. Well, I think we need to move forward with what we've got and come up with
Yep.
innovative approaches to using
Yeah.
we have and try to find alternatives for what's there now if we need to keep them, i.e. the DPW.
Mhm.
Okay. Any more comments on this? Think we know where we're going. Pam, thank you very much. That's a great approach.
If you could maybe start like conversations with the different owner groups and set up some future meetings, see if they'd be interested at least in meetings to discuss, brainstorm their properties.
I mean, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not going anywhere without that.
Yeah.
Just to
Okay.
let you know, Posh Pots is having a ribbon cutting ceremony on Monday, August 4th. Um,
Did you
they
say?
invite
Did you
down
say?
to Posh
you-
Pots at 58
Okay.
Main Street.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
The Chamber of Commerce is hosting the event and sent it invitations to the town. I can forward it to you.
I know
That'd be
they're
good.
running it. I know they're running it,
Yeah.
not DDC, but like is Kate Hogan and stuff know about it?
Kate Hogan is dropping off a certificate to be
Okay, cool.
presented during the ribbon cutting ceremony. She has someone from the town present it to the business owner because they are not able to attend.
Okay. All right.
But she is aware and wanted to send her support to them.
Yeah, she's very awesome with that. She's really good.
Okay. The last agenda item are the minutes. We have April 30th. Let's do that first. So does anybody have any comments on the April 30th minutes? I was not in attendance.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, hearing none. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I will make a motion to approve the planning board minutes on April 30th, 2025.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Austin Groner,
I,
Jim Barr,
Aye.
Eric Nyland,
Aye.
Mike Lau.
Aye.
The April 30th, 2025 minutes are approved. And then we had May 8th.
So May 28th,
It looks like everyone was present.
I'll make a motion to approve the planning board minutes for May 28th, 2025.
I'll second that.
Robert Romer,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
I,
Jim Barr,
Aye.
Eric Nyland,
Aye.
Michael Lau.
Aye.
The May 28th minutes are approved by a unanimous vote of 5-0.
Great. Pam, while everybody's on, have you got any updates on where things are with 580 Main Street?
Yeah, they are moving along very quickly. They're expecting occupancy for their first building the end of October. So we're working with them on complying with all conditions of the comprehensive permit approval that were required to be satisfied prior to the issuance of the first occupancy permit. And we're starting to gather all the information for the lottery, and we're keeping a running tally of everyone that may be interested in the affordable units so we can send out notification of applications availability when all the documentation is available and approved.
Does each building have the same number of affordable units, or is it more condensed in one or the other building, or?
No, they're spread out equally, but with rentals, they tend to rotate because people will become ineligible often. So you have to open up your next available unit to an affordable household.
Okay.
So they tend to rotate, but they have to keep a proportionate number, 25% of a proportionate number of bedrooms. So 25% of 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and 3 bedrooms. But the unit locations will rotate.
Okay, so it's not like certain apartments are deeded to be affordable. They just have to have a certain percentage.
Correct. It works different than for purchase units because you have to annually verify everyone's income.
And that first building, how many apartments is it? You know, roughly.
I don't.
Is it like a third of them, or?
The first building that will be occupied is one of the smaller buildings. I can take a look. Hold on.
Yeah, just it'll be interesting to see if any and what percentage students move in. I still think it won't. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's kind of like a gamble, I guess.
they'll have to drive to get their groceries.
Yes.
We all do.
Well, they're because they're moving along so quickly. The other 3 aren't far behind the October date. They're expecting to be fully complete by the spring.
Yeah, I haven't driven in there, but just driving by while trying not to rear end somebody on 117, I can't believe how fast it's going up.
Yeah, it's really going quickly. And the site's closed from after the entrance to the Bolton Country Manor, so you really can't drive in too far.
Oh, okay.
They have it gated off.
Mm-hmm.
But they, as I understand it, they've been very responsive to any concerns from Bolton Manor, have they not?
Yes, they certainly try. I know that it's a big inconvenience to the manor, and just with all the construction and things that are occurring in close proximity to their site. But their additional parking for the Council on Aging was completed pretty quickly, and they've made that available. So I think they've been pretty responsive.
Yeah.
I know it's been a bit of a headache for them over there, though.
Yes, including workers parked in the COA administrators spots.
Oh, I.
That got resolved in nothing flat, so,
Hopefully that's been resolved.
yep. Okay, anything else?
I heard the restaurant on Wattaquatic, I think, is now open.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, and I think also the restaurant behind Bolton Bean, I
Yep,
think I saw
yeah.
some pictures of
I-
people eating there, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. Two new additions to, it sounds like everybody's super happy with the restaurants. I know like you know, the Wattaquatic Hill Road restaurants a little off the beaten path, but like, you know, it's just like as a community, we need to support those businesses and try to, like, that's one thing the EDC does, is try to connect the businesses to the community. So but like, I don't know if you guys have been to the West Street Tavern in Berlin. I mean, if the food's good and the atmosphere is good, people show up no matter where they are, I think.
Mhm.
That place is always packed.
Good. Okay, if there's nothing more, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And a second? All in favor?
Right.
Aye. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, right.
Night.
Aye.